Today we will be painting Southwest Serenity, a beautiful desert scene, one of Bob's pictures. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carl. I'm a Bob Ross certified painting instructor. If you enjoy my content, please consider liking and subscribing as it really helps out my channel. All right, let's go up to the canvas. We have our standard 16 by 20 canvas. I've covered it in a very thin coat of liquid white. Check out my liquid white video on how to apply it and how much to apply. Here are the colors you're going to need to paint along with me. So here I just have a 1-inch brush. You can use a 2-inch brush. Again, you can use whatever canvas size you'd like. But I just went into a little bit of cadmium yellow. And then towards you can see underneath the cadmium yellow, I added a little bit of yellow ochre. And just doing some X strokes. I think adding streaks and leaving it a little bit loose gives your sky some variety, which I think is nice. And we do have the liquid white up there, so it does help with softening and blending paint. For the clouds, a little bit of alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. Now you're going to want to vary the mixtures, so changing the combination of blue and crimson just will give you a little bit of differentiation with your clouds. So you can see here I'm just using the 1-inch brush and I'm doing little circular strokes. I don't have a whole bunch of paint, and you can see up in that corner I changed the flavor a little bit. So I just had some different lavender piles on my palette, and I'm just dancing around little circular motions. Just thinking like a cloud. Think of the shapes of the clouds. But some lavender mixture is a little bit more to the bluish side, whereas some is a little bit more to the crimson. So I'm just kind of going across the sky. So here on the right side, I'm also doing those circular motions, just thinking about the top edge of the cloud. And then in the middle, I'm just adding very light pressure, just some little wisps along the way, maybe some horizontal strokes. And in your world, you can put as many or as few clouds as you'd like. Now what I did is I took a 2-inch brush and I just very softly, with X strokes, you can see I softened the background. And now as I'm creating layers, I'm creating a new level of clouds with the 1-inch brush. So you can see kind of the softer clouds that I blended in. And then here I'm going back into the lavender mixtures with the 1-inch brush. And I'm just bringing some clouds forward. And you could work in many layers. The more you do that, the more depth you'll create in your picture. So here I'm just thinking about those top edges again. And working down into the yellow. And here's my 2-inch brush, just doing a little bit of blending. Very soft. You want to be careful with the lavender mixture and the yellow, so just be very careful. Here with a fan brush, I took some titanium white, and I'm just tapping into the yellow area of the sky, and I'm just looking to create a little bit of a glow. So here I'm just really pushing in some color, and then I'll be very delicate with a 1-inch or 2-inch brush, and just be very soft, like a whisper, very soft. And just kind of move around that paint, soften it very nicely, and it should blend away. There we go. And then you can see I'm using very few bristles. Moving forward, we're going to move into the mountains. Again, creating a mixture of alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, titanium white. So I want these ones to be almost like the cloud color. And I'm just shaping the top edge of these distant mountains or hills with the fan brush. I think creating these layers of these hills are a lot of fun and great practice. The fan brush is a great brush to use for these. So you can see I'm just varying the shapes. And again, we do have the liquid white on there, so that's going to help us move and slide our paint. So just think about the top edge of your foothills. Think about the lay of the land. So I just grabbed the brush I did the sky with. And it's okay if it has some yellow and white in it. And then here I'm really pulling and sliding the paint. And what's really cool about this is you can start to create the shape of your foothills. You have so much power, you can move and slide paint. As we move forward, I'm adding a little bit more phthalo blue. So it's getting a little bit darker as we come forward, and that'll just create that depth and distance in your picture. Again, thinking about the top edge, thinking about the shape of your mountain or foothills. And it's too big a deal here. You notice I'm just kind of scrubbing in a little color here and there. The fact that we're going to move the paint, that'll really fill in your mountain. Back to the 1-inch brush. So I'm moving and sliding, really shift it. But look at right there when I pulled that paint across that kind of yellowish space, almost like a misty space. Look at the distance that creates. It pushes the distant foothills so far away. And we'll do a few layers today. And then towards the base there, notice I'm doing some X strokes, just getting very, very soft. Now with the same color on the fan brush, I'm going to put in some darker regions. I'm just kind of loosely tapping. Maybe this helps create the shape of your mountain or foothills. Yeah, and then very, very soft with a brush, just to lighten them up a bit. But that adds some more detail. Now again, you can see I've added even more phthalo blue. So we're really deepening that lavender mixture and just scrubbing in color, really focusing on that top edge. And usually, with our mountains or foothills, creating some jaggedness to them, I think really makes them look more realistic. And then here we go, pulling out our color again. I think you're seeing that pattern. Again, this painting is really good practice for this particular technique. I'm using a kind of medium pressure as I'm moving and sliding paint. And then when I move down towards the very base of the mountain, I tend to get a little bit lighter as it's mixing with the liquid white. And now we're adding even more phthalo blue. So one more layer. I just thought this looked nice to fill in this space. And again, it creates even more distance in your picture. Focusing on that top edge and then back to the 1-inch brush to blend it out. You can add even more layers if you want to, but I thought this was a nice look to the picture so far. With a fan brush, creating a peach mixture, I used yellow ochre and bright red. I'm putting the indications of maybe some highlights that are coming through the mountains. Maybe the light is hitting. I don't want too much, just a little bit of light hitting here and there, just to add a little bit of detail to our picture. And I took a 1-inch brush, very, very soft, like a whisper, just to blend those in. Not a lot of pressure. With a mixture of dark sienna, and I think I had a little bit of lavender left on the brush, but for the most part just dark sienna, I'm just doing some horizontal strokes. We're going to put in the indication of this desert color. And I just did horizontal strokes. You can see I'm adding a little bit more of the dark sienna, maybe a hint of Van Dyke brown. Now the center area is heavily Van Dyke brown. Kind of maybe a pathway coming through the desert. I'm just really enjoying looking through the distant mountains and the sky. Just a beautiful picture. And with the desert, I'm just doing horizontal strokes. Now for the small trees, I'm using a mixture of Midnight Black, Van Dyke Brown, and Alizarin Crimson. And not a lot of paint on the brush, and I'm just tapping the indications of some distant trees or bushes. So think of the shapes, maybe they surround the pathway. And again, I'm just tapping pretty loosely, and then we'll put in some highlights on these. For the highlights, I'm using a little bit of phthalo blue and titanium white. And to thin the paint, you can use paint thinner. In my case, I'm using walnut oil. I am using the half round brush, but you could certainly use a fan brush, you could use a 1-inch brush. And I really want for these distant ones, just some light indications of highlights. And here I'm just bringing forward some of the bush underpainting. Just with a 1-inch brush, I'm just tapping in some indications. And again, you can create depth by working in these layers. I'm being pretty loose with the bushes, just creating those indications. Back to the half round, and I added a hint of sap green to this mixture, just so we have a little variation. And again, save the dark, don't lose all your dark, and just putting some indications of highlights. And in your world, you can highlight to your heart's content. Don't forget to save those dark areas. And then here I added a little bit of Van Dyke brown. I just wanted to shape kind of the lay of the land a little bit. And you'll see me kind of working back and forth. And I added some dark sienna as well. Just thinking of the bushes and the desert shape. Just here and there. And again, back to the lay of the land, I just took a little bit of dark sienna and white. And I'm using the knife just to scrub in some color. I thought as we're moving forward, just some of the a little brighter sand maybe. And then I'll take a brush here, and you'll see I'll kind of just blend this out. So just a 2-inch brush. You can see I'm just pulling it just to create the lay of the land with the sand. And when you're painting, just make sure you're painting whatever makes you happy. That's the most important thing. Art should be a creative process, and it should bring you enjoyment. And here I'm just, again, underpainting some of the bushes. I just thought maybe some lower bushes here, just tapping with some color. And then back to the half round, just putting in some little highlights here and there. Just remember, if your paint's not sticking, to thin it down using the thinner or walnut oil or something to thin the paint. It'll make your life a lot easier. Now, for the yucca plant, I believe I pronounced it correctly. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I thought this was a fun plant to try, so I'm just taking the fan brush vertically. As for the colors, I'm using Midnight Black and a little bit of sap green into this mixture, very dark mixture. And notice I'm just tapping vertically. And I actually like the look of the roughness around the edge of the plant. We'll be going back in with the liner brush here shortly. And here I'm just putting some bushes and things around the base. Now with the liner brush, make sure your paint is thin. I'm going in with Midnight Black and Sap Green and maybe a hint of cadmium yellow. But notice I'm pulling little kind of swooping strokes, almost like a flick downward. And it really creates a nice illusion, creating the texture of these plants. Look at that. And again, you could spend a lot more time on the details, put in so many more details, even adding a little bit more cad yellow. So I'm going to do the little one here. So notice I'm just flicking the wrist and pulling downward. And you can see I'm thinning the paint. You definitely want to have a thin paint as you're especially using the liner brush. Now for these, the top portion of the plant, back to the liner, and I'm just doing little kind of squiggly lines out from the center. And it seems to create a nice effect with regards to this plant. So you'll see me just kind of dancing around from the center, thin paint. If your paint is too thick, it'll be really, really challenging to flow the paint. There, and I'm just working, and notice I just had a bunch of layers, and again, that adds the depth to it. And I think for these plants, being somewhat erratic seems to really work for that illusion. So have some fun. This is the first time that I've ever painted these, and I thought this would be a fun experience here. Good practice. So just flick it, move that paint. What a fun plant. This is a very, very fun plant to paint. And then over here, I'm just adding a little, maybe an old tree. Very thin paint. And just kind of thinking of the tree shape. One thing I will say when you're doing a tree, I would recommend starting from the trunk of the tree and then moving outward. I think you get finer control of the branches. I think they look more realistic. Then if you start outward and move in, I think it's a little bit harder to control. So here, very thin paint, and I'm just thinking like branches, thinking about Y shapes, V shapes. Be kind of loose with your strokes. And again, if it's not flowing, you need to be a little thinner with your paint. And then here I just took the fan brush to put some sand indications at the base of the tree. I do intend to create some longer downloadable lessons in the future. It is something I am going to be working on. So if that's something of interest to you, be on the lookout for that. I'll go into much more detail, really break down the paintings as if you were taking a full painting class. Now, as you can see here, I accidentally hit, as I'm blending with the 2-inch brush, I accidentally clipped one of the bushes, the highlights. And as Bob says, we don't make mistakes, we have happy accidents. I'm adding some final details on sticks and twigs, and I'll put a few details on the yucca plant, but I think we have a finished painting. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please check out my website at carlvanartistry.com. I specialize in Bob Ross painting, leatherwork, and photography. Happy painting. See you next time.